What's up, people? You're listening and watching the RAPS Talk podcast presented by HipHoopJunkies.com and HoopHeadsNorth.com. Hoops Talk out of Halifax. This is episode 65, NBA Playoffs Post-Game Podcast. My name is Romy Aquino. I have with me
Sean Francois. What's up? What's up?
And
Yui Samping.
So we're fresh off nerve-wracking playoff win. Yeah, boring game. Raptors took control the whole way, and you didn't think they were ever going to lose that lead in the second half. What was up with that game? I mean, obviously, let's talk about the first half. Raptors came out strong. Kyle Lowry with just hit some big threes in that first half, especially to end off that second quarter with that buzzer beater. Crazy three over Paul Pierce. But let's talk about just what you saw from the first half, what you liked, and what you didn't like. But what did you like from the first half from the Toronto Raptors?
Just the aggressiveness, just how they came out and really prepared, ready to rock and roll. Imposed their pace, their style of play early on, and didn't let up from that. Like you pointed out, Romy, Kyle Lowry, was just, in a video game mode. He was just, he was doing everything he possibly could to score from all points of the floor. Got his team involved. In the first half, he was 7 of 10 for 21 points, 4 or 5 from 3. He was just on fire. So, it's great that we saw that the Raptors showed that, they can build a lead and they can maintain it for most of the time. And the scoring was distributed well, too. By the end of the first half, Amir had 9, Jonas had 8, DeMar had 8, Gravis had 7, and then a few other players with 2 and 3 points, 4 points kind of mixed in. So the scoring was pretty well balanced, even though Kyle Lowry was obviously hitting the majority of his shots. So I like that from the first half perspective and even a third quarter perspective. But beyond that, what are your thoughts, Eugene?
Yeah, same. I mean, they weren't really rolling for a while. The intensity was there, but I felt they didn't get rolling till about maybe 3 or 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Then all of a sudden their confidence was jacked. The crowd was behind them. And for the end of the first quarter and then the second and the third, they could do no wrong. And I was thinking, wow, this is the most complete game they've played in a while. They forgot there's 12 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Third quarters have always been an issue, with the Toronto Raptors. So then once you got past the third quarter, we're like, okay, this is looking good because they're going to go in the fourth and kind of take control. But, that wasn't the case. Toronto came out strong in the first half. Kyle Lowry kind of, took the lead. He is like Jack says on the broadcast, he is the MVP of this team, no doubt about it. He can, we used to talk about him always want to play the hero ball, but he's actually he actually is the hero for the Toronto. He is the hero. It's kind of ridiculous how well he's playing, and you can't say now this guy deserves max money. Whether he's with the Toronto Raptors or another team, but the guy has proven his case all season long, and then even in the playoffs and what he did tonight, 36 points. It's kind of crazy how well he's progressed, and DeMar the same thing, getting to the lines. I guess DeMar is leading the league with free throw attempts. Ahead of guys like LeBron James and Dwight Howard, which is good to see. Did you guys catch the anthems before the game started?
No, I did not. Being a New York Rangers fan, my remote was on back and forth for a little bit there, so I missed it. But I heard about it. I was following on social media. I heard it was tremendous.
Yeah, it was cool that they let the crowd kind of sing the "O Canada," and which is pretty cool. It makes you kind of feel patriotic. And
crowd, stick to singing "O Canada" and don't break out that Brooklyn chant.
Seriously.
Seriously, don't taunt a sleeping monster, man. Especially like Brooklyn. Yeah, they got some old dudes, but they can still deliver. And
Oh yeah.
man, that was crazy. Like the run started around that point too. But yeah, to start the fourth quarter though, Lowry and Valanciunas were both on the bench. I guess that's how the rotations usually go. But they were the ones that were really taking control of the offense in the third quarter and kept the lead extended for the Raptors. And then all of a sudden those two are gone and the defense just let up there. Like when did you guys start getting worried like that there's bad signs being shown of a possible Brooklyn comeback? I started getting worried like right away, thinking this is a bad sign to give them hope for the next game, you know, like Brooklyn would take their intensity and break it over to the next game.
Right. When it got to 10 points, when the lead dropped from like 22 points down to 10 points, I was a little concerned. And then it just started dwindling from there. And then all of a sudden it's 101, 101.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my goodness, what has happened here?
They score again.
You know, but the thing is, the Raptors kept scoring. And based on that, I don't know, I felt not, I won't say confidence the right word, but I didn't feel completely distraught that the team may completely fall apart. I just felt like they're at home. They had a huge lead. They're still making shots. Yeah, it's not going to end the way that it was looking like it was going to end, but ultimately, as long as you get the win, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can work on the other stuff. And it was crazy because at halftime, Gravis Vasquez was interviewed by Rod Black on the TSN broadcast, and exactly that's what he said. Like, we're gonna show that we've matured and that we're going to, like, keep the pedal down.
And they did that in the third quarter.
Absolutely. And the fourth quarter, you give up 44 points to Brooklyn Nets.
And how many times?
44 in a quarter.
And those closeouts on three-point shooters, they did not have a chance to get a block, so there's absolutely no reason to go straight into a guy.
Yeah.
Have the potential for a 4-point play. It happened 3 times. On the third time, my parents are sleeping like over in the other room, and I said, "You gotta be effing kidding me!" After the third one.
Well, I know. What was the Allen Anderson? I mean, that was a crazy, the 4-point play.
Oh, I know.
With Amir just flying right into him on the 3-point shot, and then he nailed the free throw with like 10 seconds to play. It's just like, how close can this game get? Like,
and
Amir fouls out at that point as well.
And even that last inbounds after the half-court violation, what kind of pass was that? It was cross-court going towards the Nets basket.
Like, I know.
That was risky. Like, I totally saw and there's a steal by Bird moment happening again.
Right.
It was there.
Yeah,
Dennis Johnson.
It was just a ridiculous game in terms of, like, you couldn't let the Brooklyn Nets get any closer than that. But luckily with like DeMar and Lowry just hitting some shots, down the stretch. At least we stayed in the game. But it was weird too. Like Chuck Hayes, you saw Chuck Hayes get some minutes, and he had that weird little 1-foot jumper.
And there was another thing, Patrick Patterson, like, early on, they were throwing the extra pass for an open 3-point shooter. There was a couple times there that I thought he passed up a good 3 to throw the extra pass for a worse 3, like 2 times in the final 5 or 6 minutes. And I was like, dude, you got to take that because he can hit that. It's nothing being unselfish, but if you're giving up a better 3 for a worse one, it doesn't make much sense. It's overpassing at that point.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're not, dumping the ball inside for an easy look at the rim, take the shot.
And the defense as well. What they did well in that last game was that they were able to limit Joe Johnson to 7 points, and they did a good job with Joe Johnson in the first half. But then in the second half, Joe Johnson had 26 points in the second half, which is which is you can't let a guy like Joe Johnson like get hot at all. And I mean, obviously they kept Pierce in check and Williams in check, but Joe Johnson and Teletovic too as well, 17 points. I mean, he's known to be a 3-point shooter, and he made Toronto pay in that second half. And Brooklyn just went with those guys, like with kind of like their second unit for most of the second half, and I mean they got it done. So I'd be interested to see what kind of adjustments Jason Kidd makes for the next game in Brooklyn.
Yeah, a bit of a weird anomaly too on the box score. Paul Pierce. Like, I know for basketball it's not the end-all be-all or whatever, but it's just weird. I noticed plus minus for Paul Pierce was minus 31, and Teletovic was plus 31. So it's
wild.
Crazy.
That is very much so, very much so. And you just think, obviously Teletovic was, having success on the floor in this game.
He got some open looks.
Yeah, and then of course, who was on the floor for the majority of that comeback too, right? That definitely played a role. I'm just looking at the minutes played right now, and in the second half, Teletovic had 17 minutes played in the second half, and Paul Pierce only had 6. So, considering the comeback was in the fourth quarter and all those points that were scored, that's the differential right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Another point I want to bring up is Terrence Ross. I mean, they've been talking about him not being there for the first 4 games, and you could see it in the first half too. Like he took that first 3, and I think he missed it, and you could just read the body language.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was just totally down, and like it was one of those threes that the crowd would have erupted if he made it, and it wasn't even close. But finally, he did come around. He did. I mean, obviously, he's getting it done on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, at least he had finished with 8 points tonight. So he's got to get back into it, and because if he's not a threat on the offensive end, like Brooklyn, I mean, Brooklyn doesn't really have to play him.
In terms of building a dude's confidence, that missed dunk and 8 points are like some of the biggest confidence builders ever. Hey, he at least he was being aggressive. Jack was talking about it on the telecast as well, but like you could see all the guys on his team just wanting him to succeed, right? And he hit 2 big threes as well, and he finally looked like he was starting to, embrace the moment after lots of shaky moments in the whole series.
Yeah, it's good to. Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, I was just going to follow up on that and just say that's exactly it. He needs an opportunity to kind of get it going. He played a lot of minutes tonight compared to what he's played, to this point in the series. He played 27 minutes tonight. So hopefully, like you said, Yui, that will get him going a little bit. And, like you said, not too many times does a missed dunk kind of like, open your eyes and say, hey, you know what, I can kind of think I'm going to be able to get something going here. And so hopefully the next game he'll continue to be aggressive and take it to the rack. And, the shot will fall eventually. I mean, the guy did score 51 points in a game this year, right? Yeah. Like, it's just not, working for him right now. He's in a bit of a funk or whatever. So he's, like you said too, Romy, he's sticking with the defensive schemes and making an impact there. So that bought him some more minutes, earned him some more minutes tonight. And if he can continue to do that, that will bode well. So you just stick with it. Keep, putting up shots in practice and hitting the gym. And it will come, especially if the Raptors can advance to the second round. Then, that it gives them another shot to kind of recharge, get fresh, and, kind of come back at it brand new.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see more from him. And it's good to see, kind of Kyle Lowry kind of take him aside and show his leadership. And, everybody's kind of wanting him to do well, and it's just it's good to see no one's actually turned on him, like the fans haven't turned on him or anything. So hopefully, he does get it together, and then if they go to the second round, with a new team, new matchup, maybe he'd be more suited to get his game going. So game 6, right? Game 6
Game
is
6.
in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's in Brooklyn on Friday night. Is it at 7:30? I think 7:30.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the tip-off is, but yeah, probably. Well, yeah, 7:30 Eastern, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think it might be Eastern or actually I don't know if it's Eastern or Atlantic.
I can't imagine a 6:30. I can't imagine a 6:30 Eastern tip-off.
Yeah.
On a Friday night. That
Yeah.
seems pretty early.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to that. I don't know if you saw this. The official Twitter for the Brooklyn Nets sent out a tweet, and I'm just gonna bring it up here. The Brooklyn Nets Twitter account. Nets fans, take note. This is what a playoff crowd sounds like. Send your DVR and take notes.
I saw that.
So the Brooklyn Nets calling out their own fans for not showing up and using their own Twitter account.
Yeah, not loud, like that's what the playoffs are all about, to give your home team that edge, right? So yeah, I just checked. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, so 8 o'clock Atlantic on Friday night. But yeah, regardless, Barclays Center. We'll see if they take heed to that and have that arena rocking. It's a brand new arena, like they've got to be able to get their fans a little more excited. You watch the games on TV, and like DeMar said during practice a few days back, they're not intimidated going in there. It just sounds like kind of a regular season atmosphere, right? This is the playoff. This is, when you need your fans the most. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, this is New York, right? So I guess another interesting thing to take from this game was 50 Cent was in attendance. Yeah. And I mean, obviously he's from New York, but he was rocking the Northern Uprising hat when they showed him on the big screen to the crowd. So it's interesting to see that a New Yorker supporting the Toronto Raptors.
Exactly, but maybe, it's funny, some of these guys, they're like, I ride with the Knicks. The cats from New York, it's kind of like, I ride with the Knicks, and I'm not riding with Brooklyn.
That's true.
But but oddly enough, of course, is that the Raptors are in the same division, so you'd think that as a division rival, they wouldn't be messing with the Raptors either. But we'll take it.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to touch on is this lint roller thing is getting out of control. The whole crowd had these Drake-inspired lint rollers, and then I guess outside the ACC, IKEA had a whole promotion where they were giving away lint rollers. But yeah, your guys' thoughts on this whole no lint promotion?
Yeah, they're actually made by Bounce. They gave away 1,200 of them at the game tonight, and yeah, like they're like kind of an official kind of cross sponsor promotion that they did with OVO and the Raptors, and in fact, in between commercial breaks where they just kind of flash up a few sponsors, Bounce actually had one up on the screen. I retweeted it. It's on my timeline. But it basically said Raptors and OVO fans, like staying fresh or something along those lines. That was right on TV for Bounce, like with the Raptors logo and everything. Yeah. So talk about timely marketing. Hats off to the cats at Bounce. You know what I mean? For jumping in and making the most of that. That's pretty awesome. I'll give them that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We gotta give a shout out to Jonathan Chang, man. He's got the best seats in the house.
Yeah, is he doing the official replay work down there?
I don't know.
That's what it kind of looked like, but I wasn't sure.
I always see him there, during the regular season as well. But I was like, I mean, even during the playoffs, it's like you can't get a better seat than the seat that Jonathan Chang has.
Nah, man, scorers table, center court, loving it.
So yeah, I mean that's all I got. One little story I got to tell.
Yes.
My sister-in-law, Christelle, you guys know her, Naomi's sister. She just came back from Vegas. She was flying from Vegas to Toronto, and she was sitting up in the front row. She paid extra just to get a little bit of extra leg room with her and her friend, but they were all kind of sitting on two aisles. And they were like, nope, they were just sitting by themselves. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh wow, we got these rows to ourselves. And then somebody walks in on Christelle's row, and it was this big basketball player, and it was Jerome Williams, the junkyard dog.
Nice. JYD.
Sat right beside her.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool.
It's just funny because she paid extra money to have this extra leg room, and she had to give up her leg room to that.
So like, yeah, 6'9", 6'10" basketball player. Yeah. He coaches in Vegas. He lives part of his time in Vegas. He's down there as one of the coaches for Finley Prep. So he's down there, spends a lot of his time there and in Toronto. So he's kind of back and forth between Vegas and the T-Dot.
Yeah, just a cool little story.
That's very cool.
Because Christelle was texting me, like, when she got, she was like, "There's a guy, he's wearing Raptors gear, first name Jerome." Like, she didn't know who he was, and then I was like, "That's the junkyard dog." Beside him.
So did she yell it out?
Cool. The dog band.
Exactly.
I guess he just got on the plane, put on his sleeping mask, and just slept the whole way. So
right on.
But just a cool little story.
Oh, she should have did a gotcha pick.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
So yeah, back to the Raptors playoffs. Game 6 in Brooklyn. What do you guys expect? What do you want? What kind of adjustments, or what do you want to see from Toronto for them to close out the series?
Go ahead, Yui.
I want to see the second and third quarter intensity. That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be tough. It's a closeout game against a veteran team, man. You gotta step up on the road too. And you never know, if it gets to Game 7, pressure's on the Raps.
Yeah, no doubt. And to that point, just with regards to the intensity, just whenever you've got a lead, like, try to do whatever you can to maintain it, like whatever's working. And if things aren't working, like if you're starting to like shoot jumpers and they're not falling, switch that up. Go inside, make some easier shots. Because I was talking with my friend Jeff just on social media, like at the end of the game, and we were basically just talking about the fact, like, you had this huge lead, keep doing what's working and don't force it. Don't take these wild errant shots that are going to turn into fast breaks the other way. Like, keep the pace to your and the game to your strengths, and continue to do what you were doing that got you the lead in the first place. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Seemed like they were trying to run out the clock already at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Just kind of passing it around and then taking an errant shot because the shot clock was running out.
Right, now keep putting points up on the board,
Yeah, for sure.
No lead is ever safe, as we've seen all series long.
Yeah.
Even in Game 3, the Raptors almost came back and got that win.
Yeah.
Last
exactly,
time,
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that was close, you know what I mean, except for some missed free throws from both teams and whatever. But, no lead is safe in this series, so we'll definitely be looking at that again this Friday. Romy, your thoughts on upcoming Game 6, a potential closeout game for our Toronto Raptors, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys hit all the points, and like I said, like, no lead is safe in the NBA playoffs. Especially you're not playing the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, these are all teams that can get hot. I mean, everybody's in the playoffs for a reason, and especially Brooklyn with all that experience and all this playoff experience. They know what to do. Jason Kidd's been played in the play, like, however long he played in his career. He's experienced as well. So you just got to be smart. You got to finish the second half strong. Be smart with the ball. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan kind of have to take the lead and, be leaders on the floor. And if things start slipping, they got to get their team back into it. Get the team together and just get the chemistry working again. And you got to be smart with the basketball. Turnovers are going to always be an issue. But yeah, just the confidence. I think they know at this point. They got to feel like they are the better team. They are the 3 seed. Brooklyn's the 6 seed, and you just got to have that confidence going into Game 6.
That's right.
So that's
got
it.
Home court advantage, and they've made the most of it, right? Like, they usually split at home and split on the road, but when they came back home for the game today, they got it done. So they're in the driver's seat, which is awesome.
Yeah, like I said, like those first 2 games, I feel like the Raptors felt like they were the underdog, but I think at this point they're in control and they know that they can finish them off in this next game. They don't want to go to a Game 7. But if they do, I mean, it's back in Toronto, which is good. But, yeah, we want to finish this game on Friday and then get ready for the Miami Heat. So that's it. Make sure you follow the blogs, hiphoopjunkies.com, hoopheadsnorth.com, on Twitter, at Romy Kino, at Sean Francois, and at Yui the Jock. We'll have another post-game podcast after Game 6. We out.